guys, this is Chauncey from Good Music to Know, and today I'm joined by Erica from 26 Fix, a band that's been steadily building a sound that's hard to pin down but easy to obsess over. From their early indie roots with tracks like A Pickle to the dreamy psych layers of Peggy Paradise to the now gritty punk-soaked psychedelic Tester Snake, their sound evolution has been anything but boring, and we're super stoked to have her here today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So a bit about the sound evolution. There's like a jump from the early indie alt sound to something more like psychedelic, layered, and experimental. So like if you look at like Pickle and like Peggy Paradise, even like She Hit Me First, you can definitely hear it. So was that shift something you like consciously chased, or did it kind of just unfold naturally?
I think as I have learned more and more with producing, I've been able to create the sounds I've been trying to create. You know, whenever you go into the studio, you have an idea of how you want it to sound, and it ends up being something completely different, which is awesome. That's, you know, a great part of creating. But yeah, definitely as I've experimented and tried different things, I've been able to like hone in the sound I've been trying to achieve all these years. But also just creating what I like and what music inspires me and touches me. And the whole plan since starting this project was to touch on all things psych as well. I knew I wanted to put out some music that was a little bit heavier at some time, you know, a little bit like punchier, drivey. Then I also like to make some ballads and softer songs. It's just all fun for me. And so this EP was a chance to bring in that heavy stuff, but then also try to continue ballads like She Hit Me First. But yeah, that's just been my evolution, I guess, with producing.
Yeah. And I hope I say this right, but so songs like it's the Polka March, Your Mind?
Yeah, the March.
I just want to make sure. And Tester Snake. I love these songs. Like it's kind of like pure like contained chaos. It has like the fast paced, but then you like hit with like this surf rock feel, but then it also breaks onto this like dreamy waves. It's amazing. So what was like the writing or production process like for these tracks? Did the tempo shifts happen naturally, or were you like intentionally kind of trying to create that contrast, you know?
Yeah, I love this question. So Tester Snake was actually the first song I wrote for this EP. And I wrote it after I was going through a little bit of a writer's block right after like Stone Killer had this big moment. And then I felt rushed to put out the next song because everyone I was meeting, what's next? And so was just thrown into the industry. You know, I've been making music and have been in bands since I was a kid, but this was like my first like big like attention, and it was really scary. So I rushed and put out a song that I wasn't fully like I like it, but it turned out great, but I wish I would have been able to like spend more time with it. And so after that, I was just kind of frozen and scared to make music. And I was just not getting inspiration. And then I was driving in the car and I was listening to like Spanish radio and I was hearing the reggaeton, and I was just feeling so much rage too, like not having any inspiration, and just literally it was so silly. Like this sounds so cheesy, but I just like shout out to the universe. I was like, I need inspiration. Like I need a song. And then Tester Snake came to me like fully. And as soon as I got home, I ran over to my guitar, the whole song, the production, everything came to my mind. And I knew this EP needed to be the time where I start the heavy music. And that's where I put the reggaeton drums with like that heavy, drivey guitar. And so that's kind of been, that set the theme for the EP. Yeah. And then Polka March also, again, I wanted some songs that were heavy, some slower. I knew this one was going to be the punchy, drivey one. And I had like the bare bones of it. And then I got together with my band during band practice, and I had a voice memo and said, let's do this. Like, this is what we're going to do. And then it kind of unfolded there. But yeah, Tester Snake, the plan of like having it be heavy and then slow, I just like doing that. I like Stone Killer. I do that a little bit as well. It's just fun for me to have songs that have those switch ups. So yeah, my wanted answer for those two.
I forget which was the song that there's like a flute breakdown. It feels like you're like in a magical forest. Is this?
Yes. A couple. I definitely throw a lot of flute in there, but I would probably Rob Likes to Laugh might be what you're talking about.
Yeah, I feel like I was like in like the Link like video or something. Yeah. Yeah. And then I also love Lohan. So I love the particular lyric. It says like, I lose who I am, try to forget who I am. So I was just curious, like, Was this track more introspective? Was it more like about identity or like in general, just like letting go?
Yes. This EP is all about my journey with music and my introduction to music all the way up to most recently with, Stone Killer a couple years ago when that blew up. Just my whole experience with music when Stone Killer was having its big thing and I was having all these voices, managers reaching out, labels telling me what I should do, what's next. And I kind of started to lose sight of why I was doing this and more of like, oh, I need to use this success. I need to capitalize on this. Like, I got to enjoy this opportunity, like so many musicians dream of. And then I was miserable. I was so stressed because I was trying to fit this mold or do what I needed to do to like make it or take off. And then I realized that that's not why I make music. I've been doing this my whole life. I'm happy people can find meaning and enjoy my music. It connects us and that's amazing. But I'm always going to make music. In the moment that I stop being authentic with it and like doing it for my enjoyment, I just lose who I am. So that's what that was mainly about.
It's crazy how like labels are in general, like if you put out like one banger, they immediately expect something else. And it's like, I need time to like think about it, marinate, like come to like my creative juices. It's like they want something boom, 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 boom. People don't work this way. But yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. And then I also like the title. I just like the title of the song, But God Loves to Laugh. Is the title more of like maybe like a philosophical nudge about like life's absurdities, like versus like a literal reference maybe?
Yeah. So not to get too dark or heavy, but this song is about kind of my family and where I come from. And I have two cousins that are insanely talented, really funny. And then one cousin that was a musician, incredibly talented. And I lost both of them to suicide in their 20s. And so this was kind of my love song to them and to my family. I feel like God created them to be who they are and they're special spirits. And my cousin, he was so funny and he had such a good sense of humor. And I feel like God must have a fun sense of humor to create funny people that make us laugh in this world. So yeah, that's what that's about.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I wanted to also ask about like the sound and like how do I follow up with that? I want to ask about like this, whether it's like surf psych or funk or punk, your music feels like it could score in like a cool, trippy or like surreal film. Like I love it. So do you write with like visual scenes in mind, or is it more about like chasing a feeling or a vibe?
I think it depends on the song, but yeah, definitely when I'm writing, a lot of times I will imagine a scene and think, and then I come up with the idea for a music video and I'm like, if I had this insane budget, I would do this, which I don't have, but I like to visualize what it would look like. And I have always thought it would be a really cool career to like write music for films or write scores. I think that would be so fun. But yeah, it's definitely more feeling, but I do see sometimes visuals or stories unfold in my head when I'm making music.
Yeah, I definitely have that. Like when I'm listening to music walking down the street, I can just like see a whole
like see a story.
I'm just curious, like what's your go-to instrument or like piece of gear when you're building this dreamy psychedelic atmosphere?
I'm a guitarist at heart. I started playing as a kid, took lessons through high school. That was like the one thing I stuck with all the sports or things my parents put in, like guitar was my thing. So yeah, I am a guitarist. I love pedals that have a lot of like chorus or phaser. And then really like you get a bunch of pedals, or whenever you get a new pedal and you just like twist knobs around and mess around, you're going to get some kind of fun sound. But definitely for that like warpy psychedelic sound, like I rely heavily on chorus and phaser pedals. And then bass, I love just like a punchy, drivey, funky bass that's very present. Lucky for me, I have the best bass player ever, and he is just incredible. Well, he's been in my band the last couple of years and brings so much life to my bass lines. So yeah, that's how I get my sound.
Yeah. And I know you've been involved since 2021. So what do you maybe like know about yourself as an artist now that maybe you didn't know back like when A Pickle dropped?
These are all such good questions. I feel like what I know now today that I didn't know then is just trusting myself, because before I started this solo project, like rewind when I was in high school, I was a very singer-songwriter. I would just play my acoustic guitar, really. And I would play at the little venue in my town, like my small farm town. And yeah, I was definitely, as I said, I still am a singer-songwriter. And then I was in a band for 7 years, just as a guitarist. And I would help write lines here or there, but I was definitely like more on the sidelines. And I'd write music on my own. It was kind of scary thinking of putting out music under my own name. And I finally decided to do it in 2021 because COVID, there weren't shows and I wasn't, I had a lot more time on my hands. And I thought, I need to put my music out because then once the song is out, I can't touch it again. It's finished, and just make it a project. And I decided to go by 26 Fix and not my name because, again, less intimidating to put my own name on it. But yeah, what I know today is, just trusting myself and know that I can produce. And I feel like my skills as a producer versus 2021 to now, so much has changed and I know so much more now. I hear music differently just from being in the studio for so long. When you're like trying to figure out a sound that you want to create and you're spending hours doing that, you learn so much about how sounds come to be, and then you make something new. So long-winded answer, I trust myself more. And I hear music differently, and I enjoy producing. Used to be the hardest part, and like the songwriting came easier. Now it's starting to switch a little bit, which is fun. But I've definitely changed so much as an artist, as you probably can hear with the music.
Yes, it's amazing. So what's next on the agenda for you for 2026, 2025, maybe also 2026? Like, do you have any shows or collabs or concerts coming up?
So my last show was like beginning of summer. I put a pause on shows so I could just focus and enjoy the release of the EP. And I've been working on my album, which, I'm super excited. Definitely putting it out in 2026. I don't have the dates finalized yet, but it serendipitously worked out for the year 2026 is 26 Fix. I feel like it's my angel number and it was just meant to be, worked out that way. So album will be coming out next year. My next show, I actually decided to do one show before the year ends, is going to be in LA, December 18th at Make Out Music. It hasn't been announced yet, but it is happening. We're just finalizing some of the other artists that are playing, so that will be announced soon. You're fine to share this. So one more show, and then again, I'm just in the studio finishing up the album to put out next year.
Oh, that's super exciting. That's really exciting.
I'm stoked.
Do you have a favorite track from the EP that every time you hear it or you play it live, you're just like back in that moment?
Definitely Tester Snake, just because of the way it came to me, and it just felt like a song that chose me. And then playing it live is so fun. And I just love reggaeton drums. I'm going to use them more in the album you'll hear next year. So that one's just so fun to play.
Yeah, and you have to help me with the name, but I also loved the instrumental that you had. I think it means skull in Spanish. I was like looking it up.
Yeah, that one's fun to play.
That is such a groove, by the way.
Thank you.
Nice treat. Love that one. I can imagine that one is going to be super fun to play live as well. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one is so fun to play live. And yeah, Esqueleto. So again, the album or the EP is about my journey with music. My very first guitar teacher really was amazing, and he was very encouraged me to write. It was so awesome and creative. But this is so funny, but my favorite movie as a kid was also Nacho Libre. I can quote the entire thing. I think that's also a very Utah thing. Like, we all love that movie here. But the character Esqueleto looks exactly like my guitar teacher. Like, it's spooky how much they look alike. And so that was like my song to him, as like he was a great guitar teacher, got me into it, and kind of a fun little nod at that movie I love.
Oh my God. I'm sure I was so annoying when that movie came out because I would quote Nacho Libre so much. Like,
right.
Like you have no idea.
That was the first movie. I just remember as a kid, like, I just laughed the entire time, and I still do. It's just such a classic. Yeah, I could also quote the whole thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. That movie and the guy with Pedro, who I can't remember. Had
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes, those two. Obsessed. But yeah. But yeah, I think those are like the main questions I had for you. But are there any final words that you want to leave your fans and the listeners with?
Thank you so much. I had fans when I put out music. The last time I put out music before this EP was 2 years ago. And people were so patient and still so supportive. And I'm just really grateful for people sticking around, even when there's no music coming out and it's a drought. And just all the support since putting it out has been amazing. So we're a small tribe, but I'm grateful for my tribe.